Hi, my name is Jana and this is Jana. We did a visual quality analysis of the Seekonk River. So for the visual quality, we decided to follow Kevin Lynch principles about how one experiences their environment or the city, where he emphasizes on the 5 principles of paths, edges, districts, nodes, and landmarks. Kevin Lynch is or was a famous urban planner and a professor at MIT, as well as an author. And he wrote the book Image of the City in 1960. Again, he emphasized on those 5 principles. And so paths, the first one is paths, the first element is paths. And that's basically channels in which people travel, so it's roads, sidewalks, streets, bike path, and on this map I located them, as you can see. And they're actually the predominant elements in people's image of a place, because we tend to locate other elements and arrange other elements along the paths. And the second one is edges, and edges may be barriers which close one region from another, or they may act like seams. But I think it's worth noting that, or it's obvious on the site that we're dealing with, that where land meets water, that's an important edge on this side. But I also want people to think about the river itself being an important edge, because it's actually separating those 2 cities. And that leads us to districts, which again is more of a medium to larger scale. So, for example, East Providence versus Providence, or the individual neighborhoods in the cities. Nodes are the spots in the city where people enter. They're an intensive foci where a person is traveling. So that's a good example of that would be the Gano Street, the Gano Gateway, or even Richmond Square, where people have options where to go to. And that leads us to landmarks, but landmarks are the key physical characteristics. And that's something that stands alone and is unique and memorable. Usually you can see it from a distance and from many angles. I think the most important, or not most important, but a very, very important landmark on this side is the Crook Point Bridge. But landmarks can also be smaller things like sculptures, signs, or even trees. Something that's unique. Okay. We gathered some images of the site, some good views and some bad views. What makes the good views desirable is obviously that they have natural environment as well as views over landmarks or over the water. But then,
so we basically picked a few view corridors along the river, some on East Providence side and some on the Providence side, and we categorized them into different categories of visual strength, visual weakness, and visual opportunity. So the first one we picked is, if you are from East Providence, you know, this is the Waterfront Drive where there's the bike lane. You get the Henderson Bridge view, you look across the river and there's Providence, Waterman Grill. It's a really good spot for opportunity, but it's kind of lacking at the moment. This next one we categorized as a visual weakness, also with some opportunity. There's the Waterman Grill right there, but then you can see you have some illegal dumping and littering. There's overgrown weeds over here, a cracked pavement, and not that we caught them in the act, but a illegally parked truck. Then here's another area of opportunity. This is on Water Street in East Providence. You can see that you have a great view of the Crook Point area over here with some large masses of shade trees. From there, there's no access in there at the moment, but I think it's a great spot to consider when we're designing. It's an opportunity because this is currently a construction site right here, so there's potential there. And then this we categorized as a area of strength and also opportunity as well. Is the Crook Point Bridge. It's located on the widest point in the river, giving a lot of great views down the river, across the river at both East Providence and Providence.
This is from the Providence side. And yeah, this one has a great potential because there's the landmark right there of the Point Bridge. And we could do a lot with that. So we're going to keep those in mind when we're designing.